The sound of the bell. I allow myself to settle deeply into my heart, inviting the inward presence, which is always, always waiting for my attention. And I realize in this beautiful heart space that I am connected to each one here and each and every creation in this universe. And this awesome thought settles me into a peaceful and loving space. And from that space, my eyes open and I see the world as it really is, beyond the apparent chaotic, confusing dramas that go on, is this beautiful spiritual presence. And I connect with it now, and I tell myself that I will remember. I will remember as I walk, as I talk, as I do the things that the world demands, that there is this inward presence that I can connect with at any time, any place, that will support me, guide me, and keep me absolutely whole. And so this is my choice and my intent this day. I deliver this message with love to myself. And I look outward and see in the face and the eyes of each one that I meet this same inward presence. And honoring them, I know that I honor God. And so it is. Oh, Reverend Judith is going to speak to us about this inward presence.
Thank you, Tina. So, when this mic starts working, we will talk. Here we go. All right. So, in a place like this, sometimes I feel like I'm preaching to the choir about the inward presence. But I think that we can all be reminded, and I can assure you that the main person I'm speaking to is myself, because it's really interesting how even when we know this, and then we've proven it beyond a doubt, that the source of our inspiration, the source of our peace, the source of our calm, the source of our power is deep, deep within, the very center of our being. And that we can only access it by being still, by being quiet, by closing the eyes, closing the outer senses, and going within. As often as we have known this and learned it, it's really interesting to me that when we get stressed with lots of things to do out here, the ego just wants to take charge and run full tilt to get everything done. And we'll do that until you've actually run yourself ragged, and at least I do, and forget that I need to go within. I need to go within and contact that source of all strength, all knowledge, all power, all wisdom. And from there, I will gain my strength. From there, I will have solutions. And I'll do it from a source of deep wisdom and boundless energy. But it's kind of a quiet energy. And I'm just amazed at how often I forget. The story goes about when human beings were created, God was talking to her angels. And the spark of divine was going to be placed somewhere so that human beings would not totally forget their connection. And they were debating about where to hide it because, they wanted humans to have to seek it. And so one angel said, I know, we'll put it on the highest mountaintop, the highest peak on earth. And they discussed it and thought about it, and other angels said, nah, these human beings, they're really pretty clever, and they'll manage to get to the top of that mountain. So where else can we hide it? And another one said, well, I know, let's hide it in the very deepest part of the ocean. And they discussed that for a while, and they said, nah, these human beings, they're going to create submarines and all kinds of gadgets. They'll find it down there. So they talked and talked some more, and finally one said, I know, we'll put it where they never will think to look. Right in the center of their being. And so the spark of the divine is within us. And to access it, we have to find that presence with a capital P within us. And all addictions and all afflictions are seeking to find what it is we think we need outside here. Outside. Struggling and fighting and feeling like we're fighting the world to get what we could find if we would just sit still and center ourselves and breathe. So I was reminded of that this week with a process that I've been doing. It's called just continuous breath, just for 15 minutes, sitting still and not letting any breath end with a holding of the breath. Just as soon as you breathe out, breathe back in. And doing that twice a day or more. I find that whenever I get stressed, I just want to sit still and breathe for 5 or 10 minutes. And it has had just amazing results with me. And it is just accessing that inward presence. And it has all the answers that we seek. It has all of the answers that we seek, because I started to say, well, maybe not, it may not put money in your bank account, but it does that as well. Because when you receive ideas for things that you might do, could do, might want to do, all it takes for additional income is a new idea, We get limited when we want to have the source of our income be the main source that we're accustomed to, whether that's your retirement or your salary or your spouse or wherever you generally have it come from. But that's only one source. So God is really the source of all of our income. And it's limited only by what we limit it to. So during this holiday season, I particularly urge you to remember this and practice it, because it's really interesting. This is the season where we want to celebrate the birth of the Christ consciousness.